Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel Aditosh. If you are new here, I'm Aditya Singh and I post videos about all things tech, coding and innovation. Today I've got something really cool lined up for you. In this video, we are diving into a fascinating project that combines front-end development and the power of AI. We'll be using React in Node.js to create a simple yet powerful application that integrates with OpenAI's API to generate images from prompts. This project will show you how incredibly simple it is to integrate with OpenAI and thus enhance your creativity when it comes to building fun applications. Whether you are a developer looking to enhance your UX skills or someone interested in potential of AI, this project is perfect for you. We'll start by setting up our React environment, then move on to integrating the OpenAI API. I'll walk you through the entire process step by step so you can follow along and build this project yourself. So let's begin. First of all, I'll hit Ctrl Shift tilde, is that what it's called? The button to the left of the number 1 on your keyboard. When you do that, it should pop up the terminal on your Visual Studio Code. Now I'll make sure that my MacBook has access to the npm module that's installed on it. Now for the command for that is source nvm.sh that I need to execute. In case you do not have Node and npm on your command line, what you can do is you can follow the link in the description. Next up, I'll do npm-v to check the version. Now it's showing up some version that ensures that npm is recognized. Next I'll do is create React app and I'll call it my app, the norm. You can call it something that resonates more with you. This will take some time, so let's fast forward this section. So package.json is the place where in your Node project all the dependencies are mentioned, and by default React has put up the basic essential dependencies. So here are the suggestions for the next step as well. So it wants us to cd into the app that we just created and then use npm start to start the project. However, we want to install the OpenAI library to our project, and when I do that, you can see that OpenAI is added to the list of dependencies on package.json. So now I will do npm start and this will launch the browser with our app running on it. So our app is running on localhost port 3000 and the browser gets launched automatically. Now what we want to do is we want to make some changes but use this template so it saves us the boilerplate building activity. It itself now is suggesting to edit source app.js and save to reload. So let's do that. I am in app.js and this is the place from where we are rendering the entire screen on our right. So I'm going to remove all of it, and instead of it I just want for now, let's say, a header, and it should read, let's say, generate image. Now as I save this, the browser will automatically pick the changes. Perfect. Now we have the basic project running and we have the understanding of how it's functioning. Let's move on to the next tab on OpenAI official documents. Again, the link will be in the description, and on this document I am in the quick start tab, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the import of the library and set the basics. But before that, let's remove the React logo import. We don't need that anymore. And also let's import a very basic functionality of states, which is hooks and states that were introduced when React recently last 2 years back moved from class-based components to function-based components. In class-based components, you'll see React used to have very bad support for states, and we had to use Redux for state management. But now with function-based React, we can use state, or we can perform state management using React hooks, and useState is one of those. We'll be using React hook later. More on React basics you can check out online on official React documents. But yes, we can complete this project without developing a proper understanding of it as well, and later go out and build the proper understanding. So apart from that, I want to do the import OpenAI from OpenAI, and I'm importing the OpenAI class from OpenAI library, and OpenAI library functions because I did npm start earlier and added it to my package.json in dependencies. If I had not done that, this will fail. But since I have done it, this will function just as we want it to. Now what I will do is I will create a constant variable that will store the reference to the object from the class OpenAI, and while I'm instantiating it, I'll pass on the API key as an argument, as well as I'll set a parameter dangerously allow pod browser as true. So this will just understand that we are in the debug mode and allow the API key to, with security risks of key being exposed for dev mode, it will allow. But instead of passing the API key as a string in the program, what we will do is we will create an environment variable, environment file.env, and we need to follow the React basic norm that your environment variable name should start with capital React underscore app followed by your variable name. Let's call it my API key, and over here I will store my API key that will get me authorized. For now, I'll just leave it as a placeholder. Now let's quickly test if we are able to access the environment variable. So I'll do a console.log, and in that I'll be pushing process.env dot the name of my variable. So I'll just copy it from here. I'll pick it up from here, drop it down here, and let's save this and check if we are able to see that value on our console. So I'm seeing undefined even after reload. So I think I'll have to stop the app and restart the app, and let's see what happens. Now I'm able to see the string variable. So that is it. Now what I will do is I'll pick this up from here and drop it in the argument to my instantiation of the object of OpenAI class and comment out the console. Now I'll create an async function and call it generate image, and this function will be responsible for making the call to OpenAI endpoint and generate the image. So I'm not going to code it myself. We have the support in the official documents, and I'll show you how you can see that. So over here we have the section for image generation, and then we have the code as well. But I want to put that code inside a try catch block in case it fails with an exception. I just want to log it to the console so that it helps us debug it. Now this is for Python. I am looking for Node.js. I'll copy this code and drop it here inside the try catch block. Quick correction on const, and we have the prompt here, dummy prompt. I want to specify the image URL as var explicitly, and then I want to console.log the URL. And since it's going to be constant, let's go with const. So now I should be able to see the URL on console. So here is my app. I'll right click and open inspect. Over here I want to look for console. And in console I am not seeing the logs. So let's refresh. Okay, we are not ever calling generate image. That's why I'm consoling is inside generate image. So let's do that. The function, the entire screen where it's being rendered is inside return. So what I want to do is I want to add a button that says generate on it, and I want to add the functionality of on click. So when we click that button, what I want to do is I want to run the function generate image. So yes, there we have it, and we have an error, and it says that incorrect API key provided, and that makes sense. We are passing not a valid API key. So before we fix that, let's add the basic functionality for adding the image that gets generated onto the screen. So I'll be creating two states. Use first state will be image and the other state will be prompt. So here is image state use, and these states I'm creating using the new functionality introduced to React function based components use state. So image state, this will hold the image URL, and then the prompt state that will hold the prompt that user types. Every time these states change, what happens is React DOM, wherever these states are referenced, those components get re-rendered. So that's the very powerful functionality that React gives, and that is why it's very popular in front-end development, and we are going to leverage that. So I don't want this dummy prompt to be the default prompt, but I want it to be something that user puts in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create an input button on the UX with a placeholder of um, let it be the enter the prompt, and what I will do is on change when the user. So first of all, let's remove the input closing. uh, on change, what I want to do is whenever on change, as in whenever user is changing the values in it as he types, I want the prompt state that I have created to get updated. So what I will do is E stands for event.target. So I'll I'll set the prompt value as image.target.value, sorry, event.target.value, and that will work. So I need to just replace this with the prompt state that I have defined above. So delete this, and prompt value will be prompt from the state that I have defined above. So assuming that image has an image URL, you want to display it somewhere, right? So um, let's see, I can maybe add display the image below generate image. So I'll add the image HTML tag, and the image source will be the image from the state, which will have some URL. So that should work. For now it doesn't have any URL, so we are getting an error. What I'm doing is I have picked the dummy URL of this image and inserted in as the default value of my state, and now I'm getting that being displayed on my screen, right? CSS styling is something that we lack right now, so boxes are jumping left and right. Let's ignore that for now and focus on logic building. So if I type something, let's open the inspect panel as well. console. Now one more thing, I want to add another state is loading, which will basically be a boolean value. So whenever we click generate, it will make an API async call, and there will be a duration for which the response will be like in the waiting stage, right? It's an async call. So when before making the async call, I want to set is loading state as true. And once the call is successful and we have the image URL, I want to set it back to false. And also I want to set the image as the new image URL that we just obtained from the response. Also, there is a possibility that the API will fail. In case of exception as well, I want to set the loading as false. Now when I click on generate, I am not seeing any loading on the screen. It's because we have added the state, but we haven't added it on our rendering logic, right? So let's do that. So we are displaying image over here, and we want to put it inside some logic. So is loading, I'll call my state, and is loading, if it's true, we want to display some text like loading, and if it's false, we want to, like, if it's not in the loading state, we want to display the image that we have stored in the image state. So while it's loading, I'll just display the paragraph text as loading, and when it's in false state, I'll just show up the image that we have in the state image. So now when I click on generate, I'm seeing loading. So while the call is in the process of receiving the response, we have the loading. Now let's add the API key, right, and make this thing work. So in the official docs itself, let's look over here. We have API reference, and also we have, then it's not here, so let's check out the dashboard, and I see API keys here. So I'll delete my existing API keys and create my own new one. We have some options of read only or restricted. Let's select all and generate key. So I have this key, I'll just copy it and put it in my environment file in the variable that I have, environment variable. So let's add some prompt duck with out of ideas. Doesn't matter, violin or guitar. Let's hit generate and see what's happening. I'm getting an error and it looks like it's not picking up the environment key. Oh, so maybe I'll just have to stop my app and rerun it. So now let's type something and generate. Doesn't matter, let's say moon and star. Again we have an error. What's happening this time? It says bad request 400. Let's see. I didn't expect this, so let's see what's happening here. So it says billing hard limit has been reached. So it seems like my phone number and account that I used to create the API key just got expired. So it won't be the case for you, and you get free credits to try out things with OpenAI API when you register with your account and new phone number. Since my phone number just got expired and I don't have another, there's no way I can just show you how it works, but yes, this will work for you. This is the code and this is how you try out your things. When you register your phone number, there will be a period of time for which you will have the free credit where you can just use the API and test out things, but again it will get expired very soon and you'll have to add the billing to be able to keep using those creds right? So that's how they are doing it right now. And that simple it is. We have successfully built a simple yet powerful image generation app using React and the OpenAI API. I hope you found this tutorial helpful and that it inspires you to explore more creative ways to integrate AI into your projects. Remember, the possibilities are endless. Whether you are looking to enhance user experience, create engaging games, or develop innovative applications, AI can be a game changer. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to Aditosh for more tech tutorials and project walkthroughs. Also hit the bell icon so you never miss an update. Feel free to leave any questions or comments down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts and see what amazing projects you come up with.